Welcome to Dumpster Diving, where we look at something horrible from the past. Today, Woops. Woops was a terrible sitcom that aired on Fox in 1992 about a group of people surviving the end of the world. If you're Will Forte, you can make that premise work. If you're not, it's pretty terrible. Mark is a teacher who is on his lunch break. The bomb hits, and he's protected because he's in his vulval, which is a funny joke if you've had a lobotomy. He wanders around, and apparently the nuclear explosion hit everywhere and made the entire world look like southern Utah. There are no ruins, no bodies, just desolation. Mark sees a farmhouse somehow untouched, and he passes out. When he wakes up, he's surrounded by 3 survivors who look at him in a way that reminds me of castaways seeing their fellow survivors as a giant roasted chicken.
Hey, buddy.
One by one, they introduce themselves, and we are treated to a stereotypical feminist who works at a local bookstore, so I guess she traveled from Portlandia. Next is the banker who likes money. That's it. That's the joke. He asks if anyone knows what the market did today, because that's a real thing that an actual human would say when the world ended. Comedy. Finally, we have a homeless man who is enjoying life because he's finally got a place to live. He survived because he was living under a freeway overpass. You know how those are notoriously strong and protect against nuclear blasts? Which begs the question, where are all the other people who were walking or driving under an overpass when the blast hit? Where are all the other vulval owners? A knock at the door interrupts them, and they argue over whether or not they should open it. Before they can decide, the door opens, so I guess it wasn't locked, making their argument, like the show, utterly pointless. It's Cleavon Derricks, who you might remember from Sliders, or you might not recognize at all because neither this show nor Sliders was a hit. He asks if he's the only black guy left, and they explain that early 90s diversity laws only called for one minority for a cast to be inclusive. All we need is a dumb bimbo, and we've got a diversity bingo. I get why Cleavon would be depressed, but I'd be a lot more worried being the only woman in that house. He tells them that he's a doctor, so they have at least one person who might be useful. They all have dinner and decide that they will build a new society. For their first act, they plant wheat both for food and as a symbolic gesture. Mark starts dividing up tasks, but Richie Rich balks. He says that they don't need a leader. They all agree, and then they sit there motionless like a bunch of sheep. How inspiring. The homeless one says that they probably do need a leader, and the feminist throws her hat in their wing, wanting to shatter the glass ceiling. But much like Hillary Clinton, she gets no response. The others nominate Mark, and he accepts. White men win again. After a couple of days, their group has devolved into fighting, and it looks like they're going to split up. But then a new person shows up, and it's a pretty woman.
There's something really weird going on out there. All the buildings are gone, and it's like everyone's left town.
We have a bingo, folks! We have a bingo! The men all fawn over her, and it appears as if the feminist is upset that she's now in second place of the Rape Olympics. They hear a noise outside and run to look. It's a giant spider, and by that I mean it's a slightly large papier-mâché creation filmed with such bad forced perspective that it looks right out of a 1950s creature feature. The spider grabs the feminist, and the doctor says if they mix vinegar with the nitrates from the corned beef hash, they could make liquid tear gas. Richie Rich, who used to be on the Harvard javelin team, throws it in the thing's face, and it just runs away. The gang learns that it's their differences that make them strong. Until next week when Richie Rich forms Fox News and the feminist starts MSNBC, and they all just kill each other. Thanks for watching this episode of Dumpster Diving. Please come back every Tuesday and Thursday for more Dumpster Diving, every Monday for Trump Explains Classics. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and check the description for our social media handles and other websites of interest. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.